Just okay. All right.
Hello, my beautiful people. Hey, this is yet another session of AfriMoms. And today we traveled all the way. We travel. You know what? I call them, the way there's the nice fish and the nice rice. I love their rice, the Malawian rice. It's so nice. And today I've got a guest from Malawi. Have you subscribed to my channel? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am Samu Kumbi, your host. And if you'd like to become on the show, please get my details down below and say, Samu, I would love to speak with you. But having said that, welcome, Akonda. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Samu. How are you doing?
I am good. It's cold here, but I had to put a heater so that I look nice.
Sorry about that.
You know, us women want to look nice.
Oh, thank you. You look lovely too.
Thank you. So Akonda, we've traveled, hey? AfriMoms is in your country today. Let us know, where are you?
I'm based in Malawi, in Blantyre, the commercial city of Malawi. That's where I am right now.
Nice. So let's get to know Akonda. I love your rice. The Malawian rice smells so nice and it tastes so nice.
Yeah, you're actually right. The Malawi rice is so tasty. I think it's the tastiest rice that I've ever tasted or that I've ever eaten. So it's really, and it has a very nice aroma. When you're preparing it in the house, if someone is coming from outside, they can actually smell it. It's so
exactly.
Yeah. And the fish, of course, we have fish called chambo from our fresh waters of Lake Malawi. It's another scrumptious food that when you come to Malawi, you have to eat it. You have to taste it and just have a feel of Malawi.
It's called chambo.
Chambo, yes. CHAMBO. You can Google it and you'll see it.
Okay.
So scrumptious. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. You guys, she's making me hungry. Wow. Akonda, let's get to know Akonda. You know what? People always say, some are excited to meet these women, but I'm like, I meet incredible women that are doing powerful things. But hey, they are family women before they are business women. Tell us about Akonda.
Oh, thank you, Samu. Like I said, my name is Akonda Supuni Yakobe. Supuni is my maiden name. Yakobe is my husband's name. So I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I work with the government in Malawi, and I've, like most women go through challenges, relationship-wise, financially. I happened to go through a relationship challenge. I was married for about 10 years. I actually lived in Zimbabwe with my ex-husband for 8 years in Harare.
Yeah, she lived in my country, guys.
Yes, my daughter is 23 years old. She'll be 24 this year. She was born at Harare, at Parerenyatwa Hospital.
Parerenyatwa, wow.
Yeah. So we lived in Zimbabwe for 10 years and we came back to Malawi in January 2005. He was working for an international job. He was a diplomat. So it was a 4-year contract renewable. So it was renewed and we stayed there for 8 years. But when we came home, life happened. And in 2006, we divorced. That time, my daughter was only 8 years old.
Wow.
So it was quite tough. To adjust life from being a spouse of a diplomat to starting afresh on your own.
I tell you.
With literally nothing. Like literally, when I say nothing, I mean nothing. And so anyway, he refused to share anything. So I had to start my life from scratch.
Okay.
So it was quite tough. And fortunately, that's the year I got a job with the Malawi government, where I am right now. And I've been taking it one step at a time, trying to rebuild my life. Fortunately, God has been faithful. And actually that situation is what made me led me to personal development, because I was at my lowest.
Yeah.
I felt betrayed. I felt unloved. I felt like I'm not marriage material enough. I was depressed, actually, very, very depressed. Yeah. So one day I visited a friend and I saw a book on their bookshelf called The Success Principles by Jackie Canfield. And that's what led me to, I love to read a lot, by the way. So I borrowed that book, and when I read it, I went through it. It spoke to my heart. It taught me I can become, I can do, have, or be anything that I want. And that led me to become a transformational life coach, because I started following Jack. And I enrolled in some of his programs, including the Train the Trainer online program. And I can say that I'm happy that I'm a certified coach with Jackie Canfield. Yeah, so I do coaching part-time while I still have my 8-to-5 job. And in the near future, I'm going to transition to become a full-time entrepreneur, because my passion is to help people become confident, especially high achievers, to become so confident of themselves, to know that they can thrive and become a So the past really doesn't matter. The past doesn't matter. What matters is what you tell yourself after going through whatever challenges you've gone through. So in short, I would say, and by the way, in 2017, I remarried to Mr. Yakobe. So that's why I'm now Mrs. Yakobe. Okay. Yes. And my daughter is 23, like I've said. She's studying law at University of Cape Town. And she'll be finishing this December.
She's in South Africa. Alan, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can.
All right. Yeah. All right. So
I hope you were able to hear what I said.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. So your journey in life is what made you to tend to something else besides your job. So when you were married to the Diplomat, were you working?
No, I wasn't, because I was told that when you're a spouse of a diplomat, you're not allowed to work. So I wasn't working. I actually had to quit my job and become a housewife. But what I liked about the experience in the 8 years was that during that time, diplomats' wives had an association where they would meet and they would we used to do lots of fundraising activities and help the less privileged. So we're always busy. There was the Diplomatic Spouses Association and there was African Diplomatic Spouses Association. I was actually, at one point in time, I was president, of the African Diplomat Spouses Association, and I served as a treasurer in the Diplomatic Spouses Association. So we had things that kept us busy, and I'm truly grateful to that experience, because that also gave me confidence. And where I am right now, and with where I'm coming from, I can see that it's a journey that God allowed it to happen like that, because he knew that I would need the skills that I gained during that time and just the confidence that I have to be able to interact with anyone at any level. There are some people they can't interact with other people, maybe people from different countries, they can't. But so I'm able to walk to anyone, regardless of the color, the gender, their education status. I'm able to go and just say, hey, my name is Akonda. How are you doing?
You know what? Know what? On that note, Akonda, I was just telling my husband to say, my dad prepared us, because I grew up in the locations and everything, but he was a sculptor. So white people would come, they were his customers. And so now we were exposed to white people, and I went to A schools. And then it mixed with the personal development that I've done now growing up. I'm able to relate to anyone anyway. It's because I was not, put down to say you're only here and you're only there. That's what helped me.
Absolutely.
The exposure is important, hey?
Very important. It's very important. And my confidence levels, even here back home, people always wondered, so where do you get your confidence from?
Like, why are you confident? Exactly.
I even preached yesterday in church, and people were like, wow, we didn't know you can preach so well, so confidently, without. And by the way, I'm also the president of Blantyre Toastmasters Club here.
Wow.
So yeah, some people were like, wow, your English was fluent. There were no R's, no filler words.
Yes. I get you. But tell me, Akonda.
Yeah.
Did you have the accounting degree before, like, the time we were married and all? Because you said you're a chartered accountant. When did you get that qualification? When did you get your chartered, your CA?
Okay. I got my first degree from Solusi University. It was Solusi College then, affiliated to Andrews University in the United States of America in 1995. That's when I graduated. Okay. So after graduating, I came back home and then met my ex-husband, got married in 1996, moved to Harare. And while I was there, since I was told that I would not be allowed to work, in around 2002, 2003, I got tired of sitting at home. Of course, we were doing some charity work, like I was saying, but it wasn't like every day. So yeah, life was happening. I was getting depressed, staying at home. And then I said, no, I can't just be sitting at home. Let me do something. And that's when I thought of studying with Association of Certified Chartered Accountants. So I enrolled in 2003, started my education. And by the time I was separating with my husband in 2006, I was still going through it. And because of what was happening in my marriage, there were times I would write exams. Sometimes I would be too depressed to write exams. So it took me quite a journey. And I only qualified as a chartered accountant in 2009. And that was after we had divorced. So I was on my own that time. And I'm now a fellow of Certified Chartered Accountant. So I started when I was still with him and completed when I was on my own.
Wow, I love that. I love that you didn't let the situation where you were, put you down. But tell me about mindset. Tell me what was happening in your mind, because most of the time what you're telling me would have just made this woman just sit and cry and not even get up and do something. What was happening?
Actually, before I answer that question, in 2014, I also got tired. I said, of sitting. I thought I would get rusty. And I did my MBA, Master of Business Administration in International Business. So I also did that while I was alone. But coming back to your question, what was going on in my mind? I would say I'm a fighter. Okay, I'm a fighter and I'm a go-getter. I'm relentless. I'm very result-oriented. If I want something, I go after it, regardless. Okay, I don't allow obstacles to hinder me from achieving my goals. I actually look at challenges as stepping stones.
Wow.
I'll give an example to this. When I went to Solusi College in 1992 to start my degree, after the first year, when I was just finishing my last paper of my first year, I got a phone call from home, because when I was leaving, my dad was not feeling very well. He had cancer. So the day I finished my paper, I got a phone call that my father had passed away. Okay. And that was just my first year in 1992. I had to come home, buried him. I am the third born in my family. The first two are boys. I'm the third born, and then I have three sisters who come after me. So we are 6 in total. And my mother was a primary school teacher at that time. There was no way she could afford paying for me in US dollars at Solusi. You understand?
Exactly.
So when I came home, we buried my dad, and I was like, no, now how do I go back to school? I knew my mom didn't have money, because at that point in time, my dad was employed. He was a very good marketer, by the way. But A few years before his death, he decided to become an entrepreneur. So he was on his own.
Okay.
So when he was sick, he was in and out of hospital. There were hospital bills to be paid. So at the time of his death,
There
we
was
really
no
didn't have
money.
any. Exactly. So it was tough. And when September came, for me to go back to school, I asked my mom, I said, so what's going to happen? And the little money she had, she said, here you are. God will sort out the rest, because this is the only money that I have. And she said, my daughter, I'm sorry, you're no longer going to college you're not flying to college. You have to board a bus.
Yes.
And I had to accept that things had changed.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, Samu, I didn't know how I was going to finish my degree. But by God's grace, when I got back to the college, I explained the situation to the administration manager. And fortunately, they had a program for underprivileged students, whereby they would go to Botswana during the long holidays to sell books. It's a Seventh-day Adventist college.
Yes.
So you'd go to Botswana to sell books on health, on relationships, the Bible, and what have you. So I applied to be in that program. And when they assessed my situation, they said, sure, you qualify. You can be in this program. So the following 3 years, I never came home on long holidays. I would always go to Botswana to sell books. And fortunately for me, I have an uncle in Gaborone, my mom's brother. He went there in 1983, married there, settled there. So I knew that accommodation is taken care of, food is taken care of. All I needed was my tuition. And that's how I managed to finish my degree and graduate in 1995 with the selling of books. That's how I raised my tuition.
Come on, look at that, look at that. Oh, look at that. Women, like if you're watching us, where there's a will, there is a way. Don't give up.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's why I'm speaking to women to understand their stories, because each woman has got a story behind her. If I tell you, when I wrote my last paper at UNAM, I did not know where my fees is going to come from. My dad was like, my dad phoned me and he was crying and he cut the phone. He says, it's your last 3 papers, but we didn't know. Where I would study thinking, I'm going to write. And then I'm like, no, I'm not going to write. I'm going to write. But the last minute, I think my first exam was on the 11th. He got a client who paid him before he even did his work. So when you're talking this, I'm like, Lord, there's a God in heaven.
Exactly.
Because what we go through, even when you are going through that, your mind is telling you you're not going to write. But here you are, and you're a woman of faith, and you're like, I've come all this way from Zimbabwe to Namibia, and last 3 subjects, there's no way I cannot go back without writing 3 subjects. And my dad was like, here you are, Sam. This man is willing to pay for you. Please thank him. I had to talk to this white man. I don't even know him right now, but he came to the rescue before my dad even did anything for him.
Wow.
So this is what we do.
Wow.
Okay, Akonda, that's
amazing.
Not waste time, eh? You know what? Let's talk about the transformational life coach. I'm interested because that you got the confidence now. You speak to each and every woman on each level. Please tell us about this life transformational coach, because I'm sure that women that I've interviewed and that I'm going to interview would want to hear what this is about, because most of the time people are just doing things and they don't believe in themselves. And then when we bring them out, they're like, oh, wow, I'm actually doing something. So please talk to us about that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So with the background that I've given you, you can obviously see that I'm someone who's very resilient.
Yes.
And with the divorce that I went through, I told myself, this is not the end of me. This is not the end.
Yeah.
Okay, I may have lost everything else, but I still have my papers, I still have my knowledge, I still have my understanding, and above all, I have God who promised never to leave me alone as an orphan. So I kept on moving. And then, like I said, I came across this book called The Success Principles. And I started reading those success principles. And that changed my whole life. It changed the trajectory of my life, because the very basic principle, the very first principle of success is how it shows you how you can take 100% responsibility for your life.
Come on.
So This principle is amazing because most of the times we look at outside circumstances. We allow outside circumstances define us instead of searching within yourself to see how you are creating whatever it is that is going on, how you are allowing whatever it is that is going on around you, or how you are promoting whatever it is that is you're going through. So this principle of taking 100% responsibility for your life is very important, because once you realize that you have the power, once you realize that it's important that you stop blaming other people for what you're going through, because sometimes, okay, like me, I still have my 8 to 5 job, right?
Yeah.
So I may go to the office, and that day, maybe my boss woke up on the other side, on the wrong side of the bed, and he'll just be shouting that day. Am I going to allow that to affect me? So this principle says we should not allow outside events affect us, because I don't have control over what my boss says to me. What I have control over is how I respond to what he says.
Oh, wow.
Because if I react...
How do you do that? How do you do that, Akonda? No, stop there before you continue. How do you do that? Is that what you teach us now?
Okay, because if I react, animals react. People, we are supposed to respond and not react, because God gave us these faculties, mental faculties that we have, which animals don't have. The imagination, intuition, the perception, the will, reasoning factor. You know, God gave us these so that we should be able to respond to events. So as people, we need to respond. And there's a formula actually that goes with this, taking 100% responsibility for your life. It says E plus R equals O. And E stands for event or events.
Yes.
R stands for response.
Yes.
O stands for outcome.
Okay.
Basically, what this formula, I'm an accountant, by the way, so I love algebra, I love mathematics, and everything that I have to throw in a bit of mathematics.
I'm writing.
Exactly. So basically, what this formula says is that for every outcome that you experience in your life, it is as a result of your response to an event. Any outcome, be it happiness or sadness, health, wellness or sickness, any outcome that you experience in your life is a result of your response to an event. So I'll give you an example of an event. I gave you the first example of my boss.
Yes.
That can be an event. The weather is an event. The president is an event. Anything that you don't have control over is an event. Even COVID-19 was an event. Did we have control over COVID-19?
No.
Of course we didn't.
Yeah.
No. You don't have control over the weather.
Yeah.
But what you have control over is your response. How are you going to respond to that event? Because the way my boss talks to me, I have no control over that. But what I have control over is my response. If the weather is bad, there are two ways. I can say, let's say it's raining so hard, I'm failing to get out of the house. I can say, okay. One person can say, no, today it's really a bad day. How can I be productive when it's raining? This is not good. I really wanted to do this. I wanted to go to the market. Another person would say, wow, look at the rains. We are going to have so much harvest this year. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You see the response?
Yes. Yeah? Yes, I see it.
And this is the example of my boss that I gave. One person can say, what the heck? What does this guy think he is? I'm not going to work today. If he's in that mood, then I'm also not working. After all, he's the one who's accountable to the overall boss, so I'll let it be. Yeah. Someone can say, oh, okay, probably he had a fight with his wife. So let me just be understanding. Let me do my work. Let me just do whatever it is that he wants me to do, because it will benefit the organization at the end of the day. Yeah. So you see the two responses. So that's what I have control over. And my response to an event would determine the outcome. I hear you. I say, this is okay, I'll work. the outcome will be the organization is going to prosper, we are going to win.
Mhm.
But if I decide, okay, I'll also mess him up, then we are not going anywhere. So
Yeah.
really, your
Yeah.
response to an event will determine any outcome that
Yeah.
you get in your life. So that's
I
what
love
this
that.
principle says.
I
So
love
remember,
that.
and if you respond positively, or if
Mhm.
someone says to you,
Mhm.
Sam, you are the ugliest person I've ever seen,
Mhm. Mhm.
how would you respond? Because someone can say, oh my goodness, you know, when I was in primary school, someone told me I'm ugly. When I was in high school, someone told me I'm ugly. And now this person is telling me I'm ugly. Maybe I'm indeed ugly. And your
Yeah.
whole day is spoiled.
Because
Or
of
you
that.
can say,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
Or you can say, what the heck? I know I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I
Mhm.
know I'm made in God's image. I know my family tell me I'm beautiful, but regardless of what people say, I know I am beautiful.
Yeah.
Then it means you are taking control.
Okay.
Because if you are taking control of your feelings,
Yeah.
because that's another important aspect with taking 100% responsibility for your life. Don't give your power away. Keep your power.
Okay. So
Do
we've
not
got
allow
power.
what someone says make you think otherwise.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
We
Okay.
have power. We have power to determine what goes on around us.
Yeah.
We have power to say, oh my goodness, whatever that person says, that's their opinion after all. It doesn't define
Yes.
me.
I
know who I
love
am.
that.
I know who I belong
love that.
to.
Oh my word. Listen, ladies and gentlemen watching us, this is just a snippet of what this woman is all about. You gotta get in touch with her. Her details will be down below here. You've got to get in touch. The book that she mentioned, Success Principles, if you need it, reach out to me. I think I've got a PDF in my files somewhere. Reach out. She just mentioned one principle, and already I'm like, what? But Akonda,
Yeah.
last question that I have for you. How are you balancing your work? You're balancing your work, you're balancing home, Toastmasters, accounting. How are you balancing all that? No, you are busy, my sister.
I am very busy. And by the way, I'm also the first president of the Forum for Women Accountants in Malawi. That's
what attracted me. That's what attracted me. I was like, what? I need to speak to this woman. Please tell us a bit about that, and then you tell me the balancing.
Yeah, okay. So like I was saying, I'm an accountant by profession.
Yeah.
And in Malawi, we do not have a forum for women accountants in Malawi. In other countries, they do. Because I remember in 2016, we got an invitation as where I work, the Revenue Authority. We not the Revenue Authority, but ICAM, the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Malawi,
Yes.
got an invitation from the International Federation of Women Accountants,
yes.
to send accountants to attend a conference for women accountants in Accra, Ghana.
Yeah.
So the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Malawi sent, whenever there are conferences or workshops for accountants, they send all this communication to all the organizations in Malawi, because each organization is supposed to have an accountant.
Yes.
So fortunately for me, at my workplace, I was the only one appointed to go and attend this conference in Accra, Ghana.
Yeah.
So when I went, we found that like Botswana, they already had their forum of women accountants in their country, Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, but Malawi did not have.
Yeah.
So we were given a challenge, a task to say, when you go back to your country, please make sure you form a forum for women accountants, because most women have these limiting beliefs that I was talking about.
Yes.
We feel I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I can't amount to anything. There's no way I can be the first millionaire in my family. My family is made up of losers. So who am I?
Yes.
Or when you want to start something, you have all these naysayers who come and tell you stuff. So you limit yourself. So now when we came back home, we had this task. Of course, we were not able to form it immediately, but the Forum for Women Accountants in Malawi was formed in 2020, December, and I was elected the first president. People voted, and I came out Yeah, so I came out
you
top
understand,
and
you understand in my language, we say it's childish. I'm sure you know about
yes,
that statement.
yes, yes, I do. Yeah, so I was elected the first president, and at that conference, they only elected the president and the secretary. So in 2021, myself as the president and the secretary, we had the task now of looking for the executive committee, to come up together so that we can come up with our objectives, our vision, our mission, our core values, all that. So that's what we did most of 2021. And on the 25th of March 2022, we now launched the forum big time. We started with a big walk in the morning, and then we had dinner in the evening where we invited a minister to be a guest of honor who is also female. So it was pomp. It was a day full of pomp.
Yes,
and
I'm
so excited. Thank you. So I'm so excited, honestly, to have started this and to see where it is right now, because now everyone wants to be associated with it. Now, coming back to your question,
guess what? Before you go there, I'm sure your ex-husband is like, "What? Did I let her go?"
You know what? The other day, on International Women's Day, on the 8th of March, the Association of Certified Chartered Accountants had a conference for 2 days.
Yes.
And I was asked to be one of the panelists.
Yes.
Yeah, so they asked me to be one of the panelists, and they featured me in the newspaper, on the TV. So
yeah.
And guess what? My daughter sent me a cutting from the newspaper. Actually, I hadn't seen the cut. I hadn't seen the newspaper by the time she sent me the cutting. She says, "Mom, look at this. Daddy sent me this." She says, "Your mom is in the paper."
Daddy sent her. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And even after. Yeah.
Sometimes when we're not doing it for them, but you're doing it for yourself, and you need to rise. Even women that are married, they need to rise up. Like now, I tell you, I think I posted on Facebook. When I got married, I only had 1 degree. My husband had 4, and I used to be intimidated, and I would not speak. But now with self-development and everything, like now when I speak to him, he's like, okay, he knows his head. And even other men now are like, your wife is doing this, your wife is doing that. And they're like, he's like, okay. So now he's taking notice. But it's because I did not sit. I also rose above to say, I'm somebody, I'm going to develop myself.
Exactly.
Our time will run out.
Awesome.
Please tell us
Good
how
stuff.
you balance. Thank you.
Yeah. But let me just put it on record that, with my ex-husband, we are very good friends now. Yeah. We realized we have a daughter who needs both of us. So we are good friends. We are amicable. And so that's very, very important.
Yes.
Yeah. So balancing, it's not very easy. Like I said, I'm the president of the Forum for Women Accountants. I'm the president of Blantyre Toastmasters Club. I am the CEO of Akonda SY Consulting. At my workplace, they also need me. So I just have to make sure that I'm balancing my family, all areas of my life. Because if I'm successful in my career, but my family is suffering, then I'm not winning at home. Yes. So I have to make sure that spiritually, like I just mentioned earlier on, to say yesterday I preached at my church. So I make sure that my spiritual life is thriving, my family life is thriving, my business is thriving, and my career is also thriving. So I plan, because the most important thing is to plan. Yeah. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yeah. So I make sure that I plan my work. Like today, by the time I'm going to bed, I will know what I'm going to do tomorrow. Yeah. I'll have my plan ready for tomorrow, so that when I wake up, it's okay, get going. Or not waking up and then you start planning. So where am I starting from? No, it confuses your whole day. Yeah. So what I do is the night before, I make sure I plan for what I'm going to do the following day. Yeah. So that when it's morning, I'm good to go. So that's the most important thing, planning. And we have to plan for all areas of our lives. We shouldn't concentrate on one area. No, but health-wise, I also make sure I have time to go to the gym. After work, I go to the gym. Yes. Yeah. So I make sure that all areas of my life, health-wise, financially, family, spiritually, career, education, I have to make sure that I'm balancing all these areas of my life if I am to become a successful person that I am.
Oh, wow. That is wisdom, ladies and gentlemen. I have enjoyed myself with Akonda. Akonda, thank you so much for talking to us. I know you are a woman who is full. You just told us one thing in 2 minutes and already my mind is like, what? I need to step up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Do you have anything that you want to leave us with before we wrap up the show?
Thank you, Samu. What I would love to leave you with is, if you want to be successful in life, take 100% responsibility for your life. Stop the blame game. Stop giving excuses. Stop defending. Stop justifying. You take action in everything that you do. So if you stop these things I'm talking about, blaming, we tend to blame, we love to blame other people. We love to give excuses when we shouldn't even be giving excuses. We love to defend what we shouldn't even be defending, you know? We love to justify the unjustifiable. And these things take away our power. What I'm trying to say is, get hold of your power. Don't give your power away. Take your power and take 100% responsibility for your life. Because once you do that, you are going to find that life is so amazing. Be in control of your feelings. Don't allow what someone says determine or affect you. It's just their opinion. It's just their opinion. Just do you, and just make sure that you are rising and you're becoming a better version of yourself, because you can be, you can do, you can have anything that you want.
Awesome! Awesome! I love that. 100% responsibility. Thank you so much, Akonda. And I truly, truly appreciate you. You are a busy woman, and being here, I know that it's an honor for me. Thank you so much. I don't know how to say thank you in Malawi language, but what do I say?
Zikomo.
Zikomo.
Zikomo Ambiri. Yes.
Zikomo.
Yes.
I'll end there. Thank you.
Thank you, Samu. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Maitabasa. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. Another session. We were in Malawi and I really enjoyed myself. I am going for that Malawi rice, guys. And just saying. Oh, yeah. Bye, Akonda.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye, Samu. Bye-bye. And thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to my YouTube channel and I'll see you on the next episode. Samu Gumbi is my name and smiling is my trademark.